you doing it by yourself. You can do it. I told you you can do it.
I have spinal cancer with degenerative neuropathy, and which means that eventually I'll be completely paralyzed from the waist down. I feel guilty because it's like all of a sudden her childhood just been taken away.
I don't think she should feel guilty because, like, her to me is my first priority. If something happened to my mom, then I'm not gonna have no childhood for real. So keeping her healthy matters more to me than anything.
13 years might not seem like long, but she's had a rough 13 years. And it's just gonna be rougher.
I knew, having worked at hospice, that there were services for children who had experienced a death, but I was also very much aware of how the healthcare system was changing and how much more home care was being delivered. And we didn't think about the need to assess who was at home, who might be able to provide care. And sometimes it's children. We have more grandparents raising grandchildren. We also have more single-parent households, and if that single parent becomes ill, then there's only the child to help. If a child is not able to complete their education, then what happens to them as an individual? What happens to society?
Some of us like to live in isolation, kind of pretend like we're still back in the 50s when, everyone had a mother and a father at home and the mother stayed home from work, and life is very different now.
People are astonished because they think, Boca Raton, you don't have any problems. Palm Beach County, you have issues like this?
Good morning, First Hour.
Good morning, Miss Imbriali.
Today we're going to take our Youth Caregiving Project survey. We're going to take a series of questions about our caregiving responsibilities.
This is not like making your bed, cleaning up your room, having a part-time job. This is a full-time responsibility for some of them, which, as being a caregiver, it's just something you don't think of in terms of a child doing, in terms of feeding, maybe changing diapers, things like that they have to do.
The survey on the computer goes into a remote database, and then some information is extrapolated so that we can get the students who are in the highest risk levels.
I thought very telling today that there were 4 who just took the survey today, and 1 out of the 4 was a caregiver, which is just what we seem to be running in numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
How many Xanax did you take?
2. Only 2.
But she makes sure that I eat. She makes sure that I take my medicine. Because a lot of times I forget. I do tend to forget. She's got to be more responsible, with the keeping the house clean and stuff.
Oftentimes, families are not aware of the effect on the child. They're not able to bring friends home after school, and they don't want to be different. The children sometimes have disruptive behavior at school because at home they have to toe the line.
Want to sit over here? Okay. Before the students become part of the project, we do an intake process, so I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, who is it in your family that you help to take care of?
My mom.
And what do you do?
I help wash the clothes, I help fold the clothes, I help dry the clothes, I help mop the floor, help sweep the floor, help make the bed. I make sure she takes her medicine. Like, she doesn't like taking all 4 of the Xanax, so she takes 3 and 1/2.
And
but she
you
has to
keep
take
track of when she takes her medication
Mhm.
every day?
Yeah.
Since you're a little girl?
Mhm.
It's amazing. Do you get a chance to study during all that time? So what do you do about your schoolwork?
Like, I don't worry about my schoolwork as much as I used to, because what matters more to me is my mom's health instead of my grades. I'm like thinking to myself, in sixth period, started sixth period, class going in like 20 minutes, gotta get home.
If the job of the child is to learn, and they learn through education and they learn through play, and when you have extra responsibilities, both of these normal learning mechanisms are interfered with, then while we might not see some issues with some children today, it might be in later years.
It's like wear and tear on my body, and my body can't take you so much. It can only take so much.
We want to thank everybody for coming and joining. It's the Caregiving Youth Project. Is there anything that kind of makes you worried, makes you a little anxious, makes you a little nervous about the caretaking experience?
Never being able to see my friends that much, and like I'm always having to do stuff for my family because of their sicknesses and pains.
Sometimes I have to like wake up like earlier than I usually do, just to get my homework done. And like sometimes when I don't get it done, the teachers always blame me and stuff like that.
They have not a clue what's going on at home, and some of them don't even care enough. I mean, walk a mile in our shoes, let them see what we go through every day.
I believe as a counselor that you can't educate a child fully if you don't know what's going on in their home. If they're coming to school worried about what the grandmother's doing, do I have to change the oxygen tank, what's going to happen when I get home, their mind is preoccupied and they can't be paying total attention to what the teacher's trying to tell them.
Just a couple reminders, we have the Youth Caregiving Project back at the back table. They have some great information regarding the Stress Busters contest that many of you have been asking about.
Our program is very needs-driven in its response to the individual students and their families. All the students in the school have an ongoing point of contact, and they see the Caregiving Youth Project as being a part of their school.
Part of why we're here is to support you and work with your mom and see if we can like bring some fun into your life and bring some joy. And one of the things that we do is we have a camp. And what happens at the camp is the kids come and they stay overnight. I mean, do you think the camp would be something that you would ever consider doing, and being away from your mom for overnight? You think you could do it? You're registered.
My hope is that it'll show her that she's not alone and that there is help out there for her. And she don't have to worry so much for me because they're out there to help me too. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Now I can, yeah.
We were the first school to do this, and we've seen growth in children, excitement. They love going to the camp and getting the time, a little reprieve away, making friends, and actually having someone to sit and talk and listen to them and understand where they're coming from.
We are going to take our model to the next level so that we can reach other communities. We're just scratching the surface here in Palm Beach County.